Hello and welcome back. We're Sunday 16th of July here, and I spent most of yesterday afternoon and into yesterday evening sort of tidying up, and you can see that's a lot better without all those tools strewn all over the place. Still quite a bit of work to do over here. Got sidewalls almost all the way around, but I got sort of bored of tidying up because it's not a great deal of fun. And I thought I'd have a go at that coach that we looked at a couple of weeks ago, that tin plate coach, which had quite a bit of paint on it, and it was making the wheels sort of non-serviceable. So I dropped the wheel hangers out reasonably carefully, got the paint off those and gave them a clean up. So the wheels cleaned up surprisingly well. If you have a look at the insert picture, I just left those in nail varnish remover overnight. And the one I thought was somebody had glued back together to stop the wheel moving around. It doesn't seem to be any different. So I'd be hard pushed to pick out which one was which now it came out the nail varnish remover. They all look sort of pretty much as you might expect. Let's see, get some focus there. As you might expect if they're coming out of the factory. So I'm quite pleased with that. We'll get all of that reassembled later on this morning. And I haven't gone ahead and tried to remove all of that because that's just going to become quite messy. I'm also taking the decision not to sort of paint that because I think that's going to look, from running position on the rails, that's not really going to affect the overall enjoyment of the model. So we'll get that back together later on, and we'll jump back onto the railway when I've cleaned it up a little bit more. We'll expose the station. I thought we'd get out an older version of the Princess Royal I have, with no magnet adhesion and solid wheels. I think we mentioned last week that models without the magnet adhesion may struggle to pull more than sort of 3 coaches up the incline, so that would be sort of a good excuse to have a look at that also. It's a really lovely model, early print, not that early, but it's got Mark III couplings, but it certainly doesn't have the see-through wheels or magnet adhesion. It just makes a lovely sound on the rails. That sunlight is really terrific this morning. It's been pouring down most of last night. Really wasn't a great day yesterday. But we'll pick this up again later, and we'll have a bit of fun with the railway. I got the extra coach sorted out, and we've got that running around the railway now. Wasn't too much trouble getting it back together. So we'll just bring that into the station. It's the middle coach is the one that I just sorted out the wheels on, and we really don't see that paint at all. Let's see if we can slow this down a little bit coming into the station here. There we go. And we'll just bring that to a stop next to the Princess Royal. I'm just going to pop down the controls for this for a second. Just pop there. Finally got a Velcro pad on that side, so hopefully that will stay off the floor because I'm forever tripping over those. Let's grab the controls for the Princess Royal, and we'll give that a little bit of a go. So it's quite a splendid looking thing. I think those 3 locomotives look quite good together. Let's give that a little power, and we'll give that the once around from this side, and we'll jump the other side and see if we can encourage her to go up the elevated section. And I said earlier, it makes a beautiful sound on the rails. It's such a solid sounding locomotive. And we'll just get that to come around. Let's see if we can come the other side of it. So once we get that elevated section sorted, we'll see if we can develop the station a little bit more. I think that's just such an attractive model. And let's just let that run again. Let's just let that go around again. So when I've got some time, I'll dig out some different coaches. So we've got some maroon coaches like it appears in the RS2 set. Did have that in a video a little while ago. I'll leave a link to it. But as soon as I had these coaches all set up and nice on the railway, I thought we would just use these. And a little bit of it is just pure laziness because I've spent more time tidying up than I really want to, and I think I'm going to end up sort of making a mess again. I've gone a little bit too far out of the station there. Let's just back that up. Just listen to this. Isn't that nice? Hiding under the station there. And I'll just run that forward again. Tiniest of hesitations there when we're changing direction. Well, I think we'll jump the other side there, and we'll have a bit of fun with the elevated track. Let's give that once more round just before we go for the elevated track. Let's just have a look at that going. Slight wobble on some of those coaches, but I don't think that's anything unexpected really. So I think this locomotive was made from 1959 to possibly 64, and it vanished from production for a while. I think they introduced it again possibly in the late 60s as Princess Royal, and then they changed it to the LMS version, a little bit like the one we got here. This is the sort of last incarnation of the maroon princess, but I think this one we're looking at there is a Princess Elizabeth. Let's see if that's from the early 70s. Let's see if we can catch this up. Just, excuse me, zipping round here like this. Let's see if we can come in a little bit closer. Get it from above. And we'll just catch that coming out of the other side there. So let's bring that to a gentle stop in the station there. There we go. Let's just pop that down for a second. We'll have a quick look at the boxes. So the box for the tender, sadly, is more of a tube. So that's how it came to me. This model came to me from the local model railway shop. One of the earlier things I bought, so I've had it for quite some time. I've always been quite keen on this particular model. If you have a look at the insert picture, there's no card or instructions with this. It's just wrapped in tissue. So there we've got the model number R.258, the Princess Royal Loco, maroon livery. I can't remember the number of the tender. I'll look it up and I'll stick that in the corner of the screen. I did have it written in my notes, but obviously I've left my notes over there by the printer, but I'm sure we can live with it in the corner of the screen. Let's just have a look at that Silver King just quickly. Let's have a look. Let's pop that down. Sorry, pop that over there. Let's grab the controls for the Silver King, and we'll give that a little power. So let's ease that out of the station. Under it goes. Let's see if I can grab the coach there, and we'll have a quick look over that. So it's the middle coach. Let's just see if I can lift that out. And there we go. See, I've got that back in. So whilst I had to unbend the tabs that hold the wheel hangers in place, I didn't rebend them, putting them back in. I have employed rocket card glue again. I've done it on a number of Dublo items in the past. Rather than rebending the wheel hangers, it doesn't affect the movement of the bogies whatsoever. And it's really easy to get them out again, should you need to. Strangely, I haven't needed to, but I have had to go on a test one, and it does successfully come back out again. Whereas if you rebend the wheel hangers, I think you're in danger of breaking them. Let's back that up again. I can't get that in. I've got to lift that up. I haven't adjusted that coupling quite as nicely as it could be. It doesn't function. There we go. Let's get that back to the station. I think the wheel hangers on these coaches, I think they're Gresley bogies, might be slightly harder to come by than the ones on some of the other coaches. So I don't really want to damage them too much. Although I'm not planning on constantly pulling these things apart. It's always better to leave things together if you can. Let's just pop that in there. Let's get rid of these controls. So we'll just zip round here and put these down over here. Trying my best not to trip over things. So we want to open up the elevated section. So we need to get this point over here. So it's the yellow. I've just walked away from the button for it. So we want this one. So we want to make that one curved, and this one is set straight. So the one I just changed is this one over there. So ideally we'll run out of the station now, and we'll go straight up, and we'll have a look how we stand with the wheel slip, and whether we're going to be successful with the four coaches. So that looks absolutely lovely. And just for reference, that's about that far on the controller. So we could wind this up a lot more if we wanted to. There, it's going to begin to climb now. I'm giving it a little bit more power to compensate for the slope. So there we've got some wheel slip there. And then it's just got traction up on the level ground. So that's not too bad with 4 coaches. I think it does have more wheel slip than the Britannia, but these coaches are nicely serviced, and the wheels are in good shape, axles are all nice and clean, so I think everything would have to be scrupulously clean. Let's bring that around, and then we can see some of the new sidewalls that have gone in here. There, let's stop that there just before we get to the rail breakers, and on the far end of that on that straight piece there, let's just have a quick glance at that. Yeah, so the rail brakes are down here. So I'm just going to switch the points, so we'll be able to bring that down. So let's make that one curved. But while we're here, let's just grab the 59 catalogue, and we'll just have a look how this model looked when it showed up in the catalogue. So really terrific cover, and then that's that sort of theoretically flexible track. So we've got a couple of pieces of that in over here. I think I've still got some in there sitting under these trains here. So it's got a fibre base, and it's not quite as stable as the plastic track, although the plastic track tends to break, but the fibre tends to warp and shift and give you a sort of an uneven surface to run on. So there it is. Isn't that terrific? But, a splendid looking item. It would be the must-have thing. So there we go. R.34 for the Tender. I was trying to remember the Tender there. So we've got the picture of the drawing office look, and the little lapel badge. So let's have a quick look through the catalogue. We won't stay too long with it. So last couple of videos we've tried to keep them reasonably sort of manageable. There's the Black Princess and a Green Princess, so we must get one of those out soon. dock shunter. We must have a look at that dock shunter. I got the body, one with the dodgy body and the really nice box. But yeah, and we must get one of those out. We must do lots of things, but it's all time. And you know, this thing is eating up so much time at the moment. I've come to a stop at it. I did order some more PLA to print some more pieces. That's got to change, and that one there. But I ran out of time. I've just noticed that I've got a warning for the camera, the battery. I'm just going to put a break in here. I'm going to pick up a device with a fresh battery. So I think we were here looking at these sets. So there we go. I've got a Ginty there with a small group of wagons. Lovely black 262 locomotive. Really like those. And on this page here, we've got the coaches that I've got on the railway at the moment with the Princess. So we've got the mainline composite. It's a R29, and the restaurant car R.254. I can't remember the dates of these. They're quite long-running models. It ended in sort of the early 60s when the sort of more sort of the Mark 1 scale length type coaches came along, but I think they came along in the early-ish 50s. And R.28, the brake there, so quite lovely things. I think later variants may have had sort of bowed ends on them, and I think they had ribbed roofs as well. So these are earlier. There was another incarnation, but this is a slightly earlier set. Earlier sets still had the Mark II style couplings. So I think 59 is sort of the period when things began to change over to the Mark III style couplings. So there's the maroon coaches. So I'll leave a link to the video with the RS2 set, so you can have a look at it running with a slightly later version of this model. So the one in that set that I have doesn't have the maroon cylinder blocks. It changed, so I'm struggling holding the camera here. It changed to black cylinder blocks at some point in the either, I think, early 60s. So the early ones had these sort of quite stylish maroon cylinder blocks. They're not painted, they're actually cast in plastic. If you had a look at that, the imagery there of it running on the rolling road between the two segments earlier, you would see it's all one piece. So you've got a maroon utility van there. So, and a set of green coaches. We haven't had any southern coaches on the railway yet, I don't think. We've got the EMU, but we haven't had the southern coaches out yet. So there we've got the suburban coaches, and then we've got these wonderful wagons. Got a few of those out on the railway at the moment, haven't we? So where are they? We'll have a swing round here. We've got some of those sitting on the railway there. I think I've probably got too much sitting out on the railway at present. I don't like to have so many things on the railway at once, because it leaves you short of options on where to put things. So let's leaf through this relatively quick now. And that's quite a nice set of diagrams there, showing how the uncoupler works, or the couplings work. So really quite nice illustrations in these. Rocket launcher, do have one of those. I haven't had any of that type of stuff out, either the last railway or this railway, I don't think. Catenary. So I know there is a possibility of catenary on this railway, but it's slim at the moment. It's already too complex as it stands. So we've seen some of these items earlier, either this year or late last year. Really striking imagery, isn't it? The colours of this transcontinental range, not to everybody's taste, but I think trying to please many people in many markets, I think they're quite lovely items. Not sure that the colours are correct on all of these things. The pickle van, I don't think they're ever in green tanks. I think they have some sort of yellow tanks and then white tanks. I think there was a difference in the colour up there. And I think there might be a Heinz version rather than a Westwood Pickles version. I've just got the Westwood version myself. I think there are a couple of variations in the colour of this one. So, there's the great R.45 turntable. And we've got the Maroon Princess on there. Terrific trade type layout. showing sort of all the components from the range. Nice list of products down the edge of the page there. I know we've got the track system there, so we've got a standard track on the right and Series 3 on the left, and signals. It's all good stuff. Ooh, there's those point motors right in the right place as well. So the slightly early ones with the curved bit on the top, like that there. Let's see if we can get down. There we go, a bit of light on it, you can see what's going on. And then they changed at some point to these sort of more square-like ones there. So let's have a final look at that. I think we were talking about these primary locomotives, and there's a tank, a saddle tank with a clockwork one in green. So tunnel, single track tunnel. I don't know whether that is that tunnel there. I can't remember the numbers of it now. So that rather sort of sagging sort of rubber tunnel. There's a lot of weight to the plastic. You can see it's all cracked around the edge. But yeah, you imagine getting that as an accessory with your circle of track on the carpet. Quite a nice thing. And there's the back page, and we've got a dealer stamp there, look. So I'm going to put this away. We'll get the Princess down, and we'll probably call it a day, I think. Let's pick that up. So remember to turn the controller in the correct direction, and we'll get this on the move again. Yeah, so I've got to fill in that part there. There's a couple of those piers need reprinting, because they were just spares from developing other parts of the railway. So let's bring this down. I'm nervously trying to step over the cable on the floor. Let's step back a little bit here. Picking up a little bit of pace by itself there. Even though I'm trying to turn the power down, it's still insisting on tearing away. So let's get that back onto the main line. We'll bring it round to the station. Past the Silver King, and we'll bring it gently to a stop. So if you look back again next time, we'll see if we can have something else to have a look at on the railway. Goodbye now.